Welcome to Algebra Prep Academy. The lesson for today is solving absolute value equations. For our first problem, we will solve for p in the equation 2 minus 7 absolute value of negative 3p plus 9 absolute value equals negative 33. What you are trying to do is get the absolute value by itself in order to find and solve your two answers. Our first step is to subtract 2 on each side. Because it is positive, you have to do the opposite and subtract. Now you are left with negative 7 absolute value of negative 3p plus 9 absolute value equals negative 35. Our next step is to divide negative 7 on both sides. You will divide by negative 7 because it is the opposite of multiplication. You have to do this in order to get the absolute value by itself. Now you are left with the absolute value of negative 3p plus 9 equals 5. Now that we have the absolute value by itself, you can start to solve the two equations. You have two equations because absolute value problems can have two answers. For example, absolute value of 9 and the absolute value of negative 9 are both equal to 9. So you start with negative 3p plus 9 equals 5 on the left side and negative 3p plus 9 equals negative 5 on the right side. Your first step is to subtract 9 on both sides for both the positive and negative problems. Now you are left with negative 3p equals negative 4 on the left and negative 3p equals negative 14 on the right side. Now you want to divide by negative 3 on both sides of each equation to get p by itself. Now you are left with p equals 4 over 3 and p equals 14 over 3. These are your two answers. For our second problem, you will solve for b in the equation absolute value of 9b minus 3 absolute value plus 6 equals negative 87. Our first step is to subtract 6 to both sides. You are left with the absolute value of 9b minus 3 equals negative 93. Now that we have the absolute value by itself, we can see that the equation has no solution because absolute value functions cannot be negative. In our third and final problem, we will solve for x in the equation absolute value of 3x over 2 plus 2 absolute value plus 10 equals 21. Our first step is to subtract 10 on both sides of the equation. This will get rid of the 10 that is being added in the original problem. Now you are left with the absolute value of 3x over 2 plus 2 equals 11. Now we will rewrite the equation into two problems since absolute value equations can have two answers. You are left with 3x over 2 plus 2 equals 11 on the left and 3x over 2 plus 2 equals negative 11 on the right. Our next step is to multiply both sides of each equation by 2 because 3x is being divided, and you will get rid of the fraction by multiplying by 2. You are now left with 3x plus 4 equals 22 on the left side and 3x plus 4 equals negative 22 on the right side. Now we will subtract 4 on both sides of each equation because 4 is being added in the original equation. Now you are left with 3x equals 18 on the left side and 3x equals negative 26 on the right side. Now we will divide by 3 on both sides of each equation to get the x variable alone. We have our final answers, which are x equals 6 on the left and x equals negative 26 over 3 on the right side. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to us down below.